Welcome back, everybody, here to Scoreboards, right here on Coursey Boulevard, halfway between Sherwood and Airline Highway. This is Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks. A closer look at Jaguar Athletics, and we've got Roman. Wait a minute.
Hey, we look alike.
Clayton.
We look alike, so we look alike.
Now, this guy, attorney Tony Clayton, sponsors all of Southern Broadcast. He's also on the board, Southern University, and he is West Baton Rouge district attorney.
Prosecutor.
Man, you have everything.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm a Jaguar. You've left that part out.
Yes.
I'm a Jaguar first. So
big time.
Glad to be here with you, Chris.
Man, it's good to have you here, my friend. And I know you already have those crawfish. How were they?
Oh, man, they were excellent. I mean, guys, if you're not doing anything, come here in between Airline and Coursey and come to School Board and get some of these crawfish and bread pudding with pecans on top of it.
That's right. And you're going to get a taste of that. And Roman Banks has taken ownership of that.
Let's talk about Roman Banks. Is he not the best AD a university can have?
I tell you what, he has turned it around big time.
He has done an excellent job, and we got to give it up for him.
Yep.
But so have you, Chris. You've done well. People like Mr. Willie Hughes followed us all over the place, and so I'm just glad to be a Jaguar, and it's a good time to be a Jaguar. Let's talk about Stocksville. What do you think about that?
Man, it's going to be fun. You know, that's going to be, of course, Southern wins the SWAC tournament. They won the regular season title. They won also the tournament title. What do you think of Carlos Funches in his first year?
You know, I don't want you. We don't supposed to call her name, but I'm glad we beat Coach Sandy Pugh. But that was an excellent deal. Funches is awesome, man. I mean, in less than a couple of years to make an NCAA bid, that's incredible. But I'm often afraid to comment on those kind of things because that means I might have to try to find some money to give him a raise. So, an excellent job.
Because, Coach, the Lady Jags haven't made the tournament since 2010. That was almost 9 seasons.
That's a long time, but we're here. I think Coach Banks has created an atmosphere of winning, and I like what the baseball team is doing. It's off to a great start. And it's just, as I stated earlier, it's just a great time to be a Jaguar. Right.
We have some pictures from the tournament, from the SWAC tournament at Birmingham, Alabama. Southern University NCAA tournament bid, first time since 2010. There's Birmingham, Alabama, and of course we beat Jackson State. There's the championship and the banner.
Awesome.
They hold up right there as winners of the SWAC, and they punched their way into the NCAA tournament. That is absolutely unbelievable. And there's the selection show. They had a nice party. Now, ESPN leaked it before it actually got on the selection show at 6 o'clock, so most of the players knew where they were going to Starkville, Mississippi before anything happened. Look at the support they got at this big celebration right there. It was a great fan fest. All the coaches were there. I noticed Coach Sean Woods was there, and a lot of other people were there. So there's a lot of support for Southern University and the Lady Jags with their team, no question about that. Now, they're going to play against Mississippi State. They're the number 1 seed, not the overall number 1 seed, but they're the number 1 seed in their division. It'll be on Friday, March 22nd, so it's this Friday. It's going to be at 8:30. The first game there starts at 6 p.m. The next game they're thinking is going to be about 8:30. Now, they're going to have the TV on ESPN2, if I can remember right. So ESPN2 is going to be on, and also we're going to have it on 1460 AM WXOK. I'm going to be broadcasting that game live from Starkville, Mississippi, so that ought to be a lot of fun with that. Mr. Clayton, as we talk about that, tell us your different roles for the Southern System Board members, and you being the committee chairman.
You know, I'm now the assistant. There's a new chairperson, Mr. Bartholomew. He's an excellent guy. He's from South Louisiana. And the new chair is inextricably intertwining all of our members to play key roles with all of us supporting. So I look forward to an exciting year in athletics, particularly in athletics, as well as always with academics. But we will do well. And tying it back in as to the role of a board member, board members, in my opinion, should be folks who support the university, help shape the policy, never to micromanage. Let the school folks, you hire them, let them do their jobs. But here I love the way things are operating here at Southern. I think we have a great administration. We got a new chairman and Chairman Rutledge, who's doing a great job. And I just think we can sit back, relax, turn the remote on, and watch this school climb to heights that it hadn't climbed before.
Yeah, that's exactly right. How influential you were, though, with Roman Banks in hiring like Coach Jackson, who we're going to have here coming up later on. Of course, Carlos Funches and Sean Woods and what have you, and the contract extension for Coach Odoms as well.
Well, you know, Coach Banks did all the legwork. He did all of the recruiting, scouting these fellas, and he just brought it to me to make the motion. So the only thing I did was to make the motion. But I trust Coach Banks. I mean, he's hired baseball coach, the basketball coach. He's extended the football coach contract, the female sports. He's done a great job. Funges, come on, man, really?
Right.
I mean, we're NCAA appearance, so Banks has something. He has some magic, and his coaches, they buy into it. So board members really are in the back of it. You just got to pass the motion. But I probably would second and pass any motion that Roman Banks put before me.
That's exactly right. And I know you feel easy having a guy you have that much confidence in that you know is going to get the job done right. Because now, as we've mentioned off the air and sometimes on radio before, not only get out of the APR problems of the NCAA, but now leading the NCAA committees, conventions. We're actually talking and setting an example to other institutions.
You know, and he did it with honesty. He went in and he told those folks, here are our problems, and here's what we must do to fix it. And I often talk to my friend Denise Rankins. Honesty is the best policy.
That's right.
And you just tell them what you're going to do it, and tell them what you just did. So Banks did it the right way, and that way always wins. And so right now I think Southern is experiencing a great atmosphere now because of his leadership, and it will continue to do so. And we will do what it takes to keep him here as long as we want to win. We need to have Coach Banks at the helm.
Now, I told you all the stuff that he does with supporting the broadcast and what have you, but also supports the university, not just being on the board, but supports the university, including that beautiful Championship Plaza right there in front of A.W. Mumford Stadium. You obviously donate a lot of money for that to happen, and Tony, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Let me tell you, so we did it to raise money. A friend of mine, a lawyer, had a case with me, and he kind of lost the bet, and he wrote a $250,000 check, and we're constantly getting money for that facility, just to raise money, to raise awareness of what our athletes have done in the past. So soon you will see the bronze plaques go up. I would love to see Butch Robinson on that plaque and folks of the likes, but you will see it transform into just a memorial of sort for our past guys who came through here and played football, sports, basketball, the whole 9 yards.
Speaking of basketball, I didn't even know this, but wasn't it great to hear Bobby Fields' name again this week? His son plays for Yale, who's going to play against LSU this week. Isn't that cool?
That is absolutely, man. God is real, and just to see that, and that's awesome. And I will make sure I watch that whole. Once Fields did so much for this university to take us to another level, as well as Avery. But to watch his son play against LSU, that's a once in a lifetime.
And for Yale, you know his daddy is smiling down on him
right now. He's smiling right now with some of the other legends up there from the pros, but right now it's Bobby Fields' time, and thank God for what his dad has done for Southern and what this kid is doing for Yale, and to keep the legacy going on. So proud of those Field boys.
You going to join us again at the end of the show? Since you're filling in for Coach Banks?
I'm going to get some of that bread pudding, so I'll be back. I'm going over here with Mr. Willie Hughes, see if he'll.
Yes, indeed. All right, overtime with athletic director, of course, Roman Banks. I'm Chris Powers right here from Scoreboards. We'll be back, and we're talking baseball next right here on Pelican Sports TV.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouger. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouger today.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, official chicken of Southern University. One love.
Grand Cherokees, we'd rather sell them than move them.
It's Salisbury's moving sale and Jeep Adventure Days.
Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, $27,990.
With Power Group backup camera, keyless entry, and Uconnect.
Get them now at Salisbury's Chrysler,
Dodge,
Jeep,
and Ram in Baton Rouge.
Buddies, talking about buddies. You just can't lock them out, buddies. They'll make your day. Buddies, you can't deny them, buddies. You just can't buy them. You wear them, whatever comes your way. Buddies are here to stay.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is right here overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks. A closer look at Jaguar Athletics right here from Scoreboards Restaurant. Man, as soon as I got in the parking lot, it was like a Mike Tyson uppercut when I smelled the boiled seafood going on with the crawfish and what have you. It smells great. Carrick Jackson, head coach of baseball, with us right now. Did you smell that when you came in?
I did.
Holy moly. If Mike Tyson did punch me, I wouldn't smell anymore, period. But
Right.
Man, baseball, look out. And, and Coach, I told you that at the beginning of the season when you had the Andre Dawson Classic. You played two SWAC teams, Grambling State and Alcorn State, and you beat both of them. And I said that it looked like, and the way I watched the team, that you were going to have a pretty good baseball team, definitely compete in the SWAC, and so far, first place in the West.
Yeah, we've done a pretty good job to this point of being able to go out and be competitive, specifically in conference. Also, for me, I'm glad we were able to be competitive in our non-conference schedule as well, because that sets us up to accomplish some of the things we want to accomplish moving down the line.
And just his second year. I mean, it didn't take him 5 years to build a program. I know sometimes in programs it takes you sometimes 5 years to build it. I mean, coaches will tell fans, don't expect anything now. It takes a few years to do it. But, Coach, one of the things, when I added your roster into my iPad here, I immediately see a bunch of pitchers on this ball team.
Yeah, well, that was our biggest point of emphasis with where we were last year. We lost so many games after that seventh inning, and so we wanted to go out and get some guys that, from a relief standpoint, could come in, and when we had a lead, they could shut the door for us.
And also winning on the road is important. Went to Texas Southern in Houston, won game 1 Friday, game 2 on Saturday, lost on the Sunday matchup, game 3. Now we've got Grambling coming in. But let's talk about the Texas Southern game first of all. What did you see in those series?
Texas Southern, obviously, they've won the league the last 3 out of 4 times. Like you said, we played Friday. We lose Friday night 1-0. We come back on Saturday. We won Saturday 1-0. And then we jump out to an early lead on Sunday. We're up 8-0. And I think our guys got a little bit too comfortable, and we barely end up pulling that one off 8-7. But we have to learn how to finish those games when you have teams down to be able to step on them and finish them off. But we were able to walk out of there with a win, and so I think anytime you can go on the road and win a series on the road in conference, and specifically win the series on the road in conference against the reigning champs, you got to feel good about that.
And that seems to be a lot of teams, Coach, especially when you're on your level, like playing against a Texas Southern, and you're up 8-0. It's hard to keep the kids focused and say, okay, let's take this over, and guys, we're done.
Right. We, as I keep telling people, we have a team that hasn't won before. So this is new to a lot of them, specifically our seniors.
Right.
They've been here for 4 years, and it's the first time they've ever had a winning record. And so teaching them how to go about the process of winning and what that means and what it entails, we're still learning that every day, and with the goal of being better at the end than we were at the beginning.
And you say that. Two successful football coaches have said that. Sean Payton for the New Orleans Saints said, I got to get these guys adapted to winning. Also, Nick Saban said that the first time I saw him at LSU. He exactly said the same thing, and it's important. It's teaching these kids how to be winners.
Yes, and it comes with accountabilities, it comes with responsibilities, it comes with discipline. And so our guys are still in that process of learning those things. They're feeling really good about winning, but we want them to understand this is just part of what you need to do to be a winner, and we're playing for something greater than just winning game to game. We want to play for postseason. We want to get to the NCAA regionals and kind of make some waves there.
And it's not just also the players that we're talking about, it's the whole environment.
Yes.
You got to get that winning attitude in the whole environment. So now we have Grambling State coming up. You've already beaten them. That didn't count in the SWAC standings. Now we have a 3-game series with Grambling coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right here at Lee Hines Field. Really a battle for first place because you're first place and they're right there next to you. They've won 7 games, I think 7-2. And we're right there by them.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those games and one of those weekends where it doesn't really matter whose record is better or worse because there's so much emotion involved with the rivalry that it's always going to be a competitive weekend. And kind of what I've told our guys is don't get caught up in the moment solely of that idea of the rivalry, but hey, let's go out and play good baseball and see what happens at the end of the day.
Is there anything that you learned from that first game that you played against them, or have they changed that much since then?
You know what? They pitched well when we played them, and they held us down, and we were able to come up with some timely hits. And as you look at what they've done throughout the course of the year, they have good starting pitching, not necessarily the best guys coming out of the pen, but their starting pitching is doing a good job of holding teams down. So I think we have to go out there and be competitive with their starting pitching and try and get to the bullpen as early as we can.
Does bringing, and what I love about Southern right now, Chris Jones, Denise, and everyone, Coach Banks, they all bring in alumni, they bring in people like that, and I think that's great. What does it mean for your team to see a national champion come and be honored on the field on Saturday before the Saturday game, the 1959 NAIA national champs?
Well, I think it gives them a perspective on history that it's been done here before to win a national championship, and since that has been done, and we were the first in the state of Louisiana to do that, and the first HBCU to win a national championship, then that lets our players know that we've cracked some of that glass ceiling before, and so there's no reason why we can't do it again.
And I don't want to put the giggity on you, but if for some moment that we sweep Grambling, it's going to be weird not seeing that broom out in the stands and swing it in the air. So what are your plans? We heard there's a tribute set for Sunday, I believe, for a very special fan?
Yeah, some of our alums who were here and played when he was around a lot more, those guys decided they wanted to do something, so they're going to be making a tribute to him on Sunday. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And it's all, if you've never been to Lee Hines Field, come on. First of all, it's supposed to be beautiful weather this weekend. And not only that, but also, too, the smell of the Chicken Shack chicken cooking, jambalaya cooking. And while I'm doing the broadcast, I can't go down there and get any. So I'm sitting over there, and they're picking it up after it's gone. Well, you don't either, obviously, because you're working right there. No question about that. And the games are going to start at 6, 3, and 1.
Yes, sir.
So that'll be on this Friday. So, Coach, what do you expect for the rest? Now, this is an opportunity. You're eligible for tournament play. It's an opportunity, obviously, if you win the West, go on to win the SWAC championship of the tournament, then going to the NCAA tournament would be the best thing in your second year. That'd be unbelievable.
It would be, and I think it would lead credence to the things that I talked about when I came here of where we want to go, and being able to have that happen in such a short time frame, I think will allow people to understand if that happened in a short 2-year time frame, what's going to happen in years 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So we're looking to build this thing and get it back to where it was, and then take it another step further and put ourselves in a position where we have a program that sustains success at a very, very high level.
And what's awesome about that, obviously football, a lot of people think of football in the state of Louisiana, one of the big football hotbeds in the country. But not only that, football can't compete against Alabama for a national championship. Basketball can be playing in the NCAA tournament, and baseball can be playing in the NCAA tournament, and that's big. And with baseball, for the first series, they have 4 teams in that, so they could be something big.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the one thing that I'm a firm believer of with baseball is it's one of those games where on any given day you can beat your opponent. In basketball, usually the guys that are jump higher and more athletic, they have the advantage. In football, the guys that are bigger, stronger, faster have the advantage. But in baseball, you're really not playing against the other team, you're playing against the game itself. So if you go out and execute your system at a high level and they execute their system at a high level, then it's about who makes the least amount of mistakes. And then the big difference makers are the 94 to 96 mile an hour reliever that comes in, or the guy that hits 20 home runs. But you can still figure out a way to navigate the game so those guys don't beat you in those situations. And you've seen the Louisiana Lafayette's go to Omaha. You've seen Coastal Carolina go to Omaha, Stony Brook go to Omaha. So you had some of these smaller schools that have made ways and found their way to get to Omaha by playing the game clean. So that, again, sets it up for us to be in a position, hey, let's just go out and play clean and put ourselves in a position to get to Omaha.
See how smart this guy sounds? The first time I heard it on the radio, I said, hey, no doubt in my mind, this guy's going to win. He's going to bring Southern baseball back to tournaments. I guarantee you that. Kerrick Jackson, head baseball coach. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, Chris.
Good job, coach. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking about the academic services and show you a very special video. That's all coming up right here. We're at the famous now Scoreboards restaurant right here on Coursey Boulevard, right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Family road trips just got a whole lot easier. The 2018 Nissan Rogue. Now with Nissan Intelligent Mobility, featuring technologies like available ProPilot Assist, which helps keep an eye on the road ahead and helps you stay centered, while you're turning this lane into memory lane. Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
CareSouth offers a wide range of comprehensive medical, behavioral health, and dental services. On behalf of the staff and board of directors, we want to thank the parish of Ascension, East Baton Rouge, and Iberville for allowing us to serve you. Come out to any of our locations where family is serving families.
I can still remember Charlotte's first day of kindergarten like it was yesterday. Now, she's heading off to college. So how are you feeling?
I'm nervous. I'm also really excited.
You know you're the first McKernan to not go to LSU in decades. Promise me this, you'll wear purple and gold at all the UT football games.
Dad.
Letting go isn't easy, especially for this Louisiana dad, but our children know family is always there for them. Just like when our clients come to us for help, they'll always be part of the Get Gordon family. We want to be your lawyers for life.
Call 888-8888.
Preparing a meal. It's a lot like preparing for a game. It involves hard work, the right plan, and attention to detail. Great food, that's our passion. A taste of Louisiana, handcrafted from scratch. Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Home, away, any game day. At Walk-Ons, we'll help you do game day right.
What's the most important aspect of event hosting? Location. This is something that Bell knew from day one. That's why we're located in downtown Baton Rouge, across from the convention center, close to LSU, and right by the river. So with a friendly staff, award-winning cuisine, and a massive conference center of 10 rooms and 24,000 square feet capable of fitting more than 2,000 guests, what we offer is just as important as where we are.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right here to Scoreboards Restaurant on Coursey Boulevard, right between Airline and Sherwood. If you're coming from Airline Highway, it'll be to your left. Make a U-turn right there, just past it, and you'll be able to come on in. If you're coming from Sherwood, take a right, but be careful on that intersection of Sherwood and Coursey. That is a camera light there, so be careful with that when you're coming through. Hey, Southern Athletics is committed to servicing the needs of the student athletes who represent the university. In return, Athletics has put servicing the Baton Rouge community at the forefront for the Jaguars involved in the off-the-field programs. One program, Southern Read, is the focus of a closer look at the Jaguar student outreach. Let's check this video out right now.
So SACS is the Student Advisory Athletic Committee. It gives us student athletes here at Southern a chance to voice our opinion. You have individuals of each team here at Southern University. We all come together with our advisor and we talk about how to make this campus better for us, what issues we have, community service. We have an end of the year banquet that we get to basically show like what we want to show out. The kids are the future, so I believe, if you build the kids up, you're gonna have a greater future. We do live here in Baton Rouge, so you want to be a part of the community, whether it is with the kids, Martin Luther King Jr., whatever is going on in the community, like I want to be involved. And being a part of this organization, it does bring teams together because, like I said, there are individuals and representatives from each sport coming together and we're all talking and becoming closer. So I am closer to people on the softball team, volleyball, football, etc. There is networking a part of it too, because while we do volunteer, we do meet people out there, and you never know who you might meet, like depending on your major, how it might benefit you.
Awesome deal right there, and with us right now from the Academic Services, Corey McCain. How you doing, my man?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Always seeing you with the headphones on for the basketball and stuff like that. Well, tell us what you do.
So my role is to help out with our student athletes as much as possible when it comes to their academics. You mentioned earlier in the opening of the show about some of the APR things that we went through, and so my role is to make sure that we never go back there.
Right.
So I oversee both our baseball program, which is interesting that Coach Jackson is here today, and also our track and field program, getting them prepared to make sure that they are matriculating to their graduation correctly.
Why was it so important for athletes, Southern University athletes for that matter, student athletes, to go to elementary schools and read to the students?
It's all about giving back. We all started somewhere and we all got to where we are now. And so being able to go back and give back to, hey, this kid may be the next Southern Jaguar that we have, and so putting a face in front of them, putting them saying like, hey, these are students as well, and that the importance of what you're doing in school can help you later on in life.
How does it benefit the student athletes?
Tremendously, absolutely.
Really?
Like she talked about in the video, the way that they all kind of come together, and then when they go to the schools together, it's interesting. You see a shot of them walking down the hallways, and it's always laughing. Hey, did you see the way this kid reacted? And hey, I really love the way that you were able to, as you were reading that book, the way you were able to enunciate and all those sorts of things. And so, giving back to that to the community as much as we can is what our coaches talk about a lot in the recruitment. And so, here's another way for them to be able to do it.
What is the role that the student has in the balancing of the developmental center and what have you?
The students have? Mm-hmm. Oh man, so that center is brand new to us for this year, and our students absolutely love it. Prior to, we probably had a room that was probably the size of this area here, probably 400 square feet, and so now we're in a place that's probably closer to 4,000 square feet. So the students are able to come in, utilize, we have, I want to say 4 different computer labs, 2 other smaller quiet room areas, as we like to call it, and so the students are able to come in throughout the day as much as they want to, and able to get their studies done.
And you said, so we never go back to that APR. Is it a monitoring of the grades and also monitoring if they go to school or classes?
All of it, all of it. So the grades are a part of it. Are they going to class? We are also doing class checks, and it's also looking at, we have our curriculum sheets, and it says, hey, you have to take this many hours in order to graduate. The NCAA has also put out things not just to Southern, but to the entire, anyone who is an NCAA member that says, hey, by the end of your sophomore year, you have to be at this point. By the end of your junior year, you need to be at this point. And so we ensure that they're taking the classes and that they're doing what they have to be to meet those points so that we do get our APR points.
And when I played, I think the average was 2.7 GPA we had to have. So having that, and I had above that, thank goodness, because my dad, I didn't want to meet my dad. That's one person I didn't want to meet. But also just having that, it's a relief for the student athletes knowing that if they're getting their grades and doing what they're supposed to do, they don't have to worry about that when they're on the court or on the field or something like that.
Absolutely, and that's one less thing we can do. So we talk about a lot that the point of that center is to eliminate any excuses that we could have had before in the past. And so that's one excuse that we can say like, hey, I'm so worried about this. No, that's not there anymore, that we know that we have a place, we have people in place to help you to be able to be successful in the classroom.
Now, why did you go to the academic center? What made you say, okay, that's where I want to be?
So when I got brought in, Dr. Travian Scott brought me in, and that was one of the first things that he showed me. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing that you have a center like this for our 350, 400 student athletes that we have. And so now, especially the placement of it on campus, it's where you're going to be crossing by anyways in order to get to class. And so it's more of a convenience now as well. And let's say, hey, I got to print out this paper for class, or hey, I got 50 minutes in between my classes, I want to get some studying in. It's a convenience for it to be there for them.
And because these are still young kids.
Right.
They're young guys and girls and what have you. They're still going. So this is an opportunity to show them they still need direction of where to go. I mean, my son's a Marine, and I still, I just talked to him over the phone and telling him what he needs to do here and needs to do there to help him walk through that. So you still have to do that, and when they're not by their parents and what have you, they're in your care.
Right.
You're their dad for that afternoon, and you're able to show them what they need to do to be successful on the field, because if you're not successful on the books, because this is a learning institution,
right,
and sports is an extracurriculum. If you don't do it, that's the cherry on top of the ice cream. If you can't do the books, you don't do that.
Right. And when we talk about, coaches talk about it in recruitment, we talk about it all the time, is that we want to ensure that we're helping the full student. It's more than just what you're able to do when the lights come on whatever playing surface that it is, but it's when those go off, and we want to make sure you walk across that stage at the end of your 4 years, you get that diploma, you get that degree, and that you go and be successful in life beyond that. And so we want to make sure that we are utilizing that space in order to help the full student, not just focus on the athlete.
And and you put up an interesting point. Nothing I did in sports counted for when I walked across that stage and had that plaque, and to go back and show my mom the diploma, mom and dad, and show everybody and how my dad was proud. You know, and that's the biggest thing.
We talk to them all the time about, hey, you know, your mom and dad, they're at home right now singing your praises about what you're doing in school. Yeah, they say, hey, he's this and that on the field of play, but this is what my baby's doing in school. And so be able to come at the end of 4 years and show the entire community that, hey, look, that I did it. I was able to go there and do what I was supposed to do.
Because I was the first to go to college in my family.
Really?
But I was the oldest, so. So what do you see the biggest, I guess, benefit to having this academic center for Southern University?
Just the overall, when we talk about the recruitment of the student athlete, we're able to recruit them and say that this is actually something that we've always talked about, and here's the actual building to show you that we are not just putting words in front of you, that we have a center for that. Coaches talk about it as well. So the biggest benefits include that. We now have much more space. We have computer labs. We have computers that are working. We have smaller labs that if you want to grab your laptop and be alone for a while, we have a nutrition center there as well that you can come by in the middle of the day and grab something to eat, something to drink. And we also been able to increase the amount of employees that we have. So like myself, this is my first year here. We have 4 employees compared to when we had the APR problems, there was only 2 of them there. We also have 2 empty offices that we plan to grow into as well.
Well, Corey, I know, speaking for Southern fans, and Tony Clayton is here, thank you for what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job, man. I mean that. You're doing a great job, and you're making all of us proud to make sure that the athletes are staying on there, and we don't have to go on a bus somewhere and get 10 players off that bus so they can't play in the game. You're doing an excellent job, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Unbelievable job. Give it up for Corey McCain right here, man. That's unbelievable. Good job. When we come back, we're talking football. Coach Dawson Odoms is in the house. He's already got some of the staff now moving around doing push-ups and all that good stuff. He's in the spring training part of it. We'll talk about that coming up right here from Scoreboards right after this timeout right here on Pelican Sports TV.
SWAC is back in Birmingham, March 15th and 16th for the 2019 Toyota SWAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship. The action is back at the Magic City. Don't miss your chance at being a part of SWAC history as 8 teams battle it out to punch their ticket to the big dance. Come be a part of the SWAC family on March 15th and 16th. Don't miss the 2019 Toyota SWAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. Get your tickets at swac.org/Toyota SWAC Tournament.
At Roadrunner Towing, we love our God, our children, our nation, and yes, our sports. So let's play ball. Score big when you need a tow, either in East Baton Rouge or West Baton Rouge. Because at Roadrunner Towing, we don't want an arm and a leg. We just want your toes.
Legendary Import Group. Exceptional service and a rare collection. You'll discover the only distinctive auto for the legend in you. We are legendary.
I am legendary.
I'm Team Legendary.
I am legendary.
I am legendary.
Now that's legendary.
Stop by Legendary Import Group today, where our team is honored to serve you. We are legendary.
Legendary Import Group, the only place for legendary care.
The smart Baton Rouge business traveler travels out of Baton Rouge. Why? It's about not having to wake up hours earlier, fight traffic, and stand in long lines. It's also about BTR being closer, more convenient, with non-stops and short hops to anywhere your business takes you. Smart. So for your business, if it's about being one step ahead and not dead on your feet, then it's about time you flew BTR. Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about time.
I can't imagine a day without music. You go downtown, you can find some music. You come uptown, you can find some music. Monday night, they got music. Every night of the week, there's music somewhere. Baton Rouge is a place where it's easy to make friends, it's easy to hear some music, and it's easy to come back. We got the music, we got the food, and we got good people. So with that combination, you can't lose, right? You ever come to Louisiana?
All right, welcome back, everybody, here to Scoreboard's Restaurant on Coursey Boulevard, right here for the overtime show with Athletic Director Roman Banks. Banks is on his way. In fact, he's there now, Starkville, Mississippi. I leave tomorrow. I'll be there, and we'll do the broadcast for the Lady Jags basketball game against Mississippi State and the Lady Bulldogs. That'll be on Friday at around 8:30 p.m. So be able to tune in, not only ESPN, but sometimes they switch it too. So with that, you'll be able to listen to me live on the radio. And Coach, you're a big basketball fan, and this is March Madness, best time of the year almost when it comes to basketball.
Well, it's always great to be able to sit around and watch, competitive basketball. And I think this March is what it's all about. I think once it kick off and get going, a lot of people are going to be sitting in front of those TVs watching their favorite teams play.
And all your coaches they're close. Because when we did the radio show, coaches show, I'd see all the other coaches come to you and you're high-fiving them and laughing with them and what have you. And Carlos Funches, in his very first year, gets an opportunity to be a head coach, not assistant coach anymore, gets a head coach, and he's got his team playing in the NCAA tournament.
Well, first of all, congratulations to him and his staff and his team, because we understand the hard work and the long hours that went into getting a competition, getting a team ready, and building a champion, and that's what it's all about. Especially in your first year, I think a lot of people took notice, and the expectations won't change next year. I think he'll do a great job recruiting and bringing in quality young ladies and continue to keep that program at the top.
Spring practice going on right now on the campus of Southern University. How's it going so far?
Well, long. We got a long way to go. We can't get next weekend. I think when we get to our spring scrimmage, we'll find a lot about our team. This Saturday, we're going to scrimmage a little bit. We'll probably go about 100-plus plays and really trying to see the competitiveness of our football team. We think we got a really good football team coming back. Trying to get out of here healthy, though. Trying to get through spring ball and stay healthy. And we got some guys banged up right now. But overall, it's been very competitive. The energy levels have been high, so I think our guys are mentally where they need to be, and we're just trying to continue to improve each and every day.
I was talking to a couple of players, and a lot of the wide receivers can't wait to have a big year this year. They want Catalan and all those guys. They want to have a big year this year.
Well, I think we have a quarterback back there that can help them do that, and I think our offensive line, when you return 5 starters, it gives you a chance to be explosive. I think Chennisberry, we've been one of the highest scoring offenses in the conference each and every year for the past 6 years. We've averaged over 30 points a game, and when you do that, you give yourself a chance to win. And now you got a quarterback, you got receivers, you got offensive line, and we're very deep at running back, and we also very deep at tight end. Yeah. They're very explosive, and we're looking forward to the challenges on defense going through spring ball, but they're exciting and fun to watch.
And and sometimes during the old days that Southern was so successful, it'd be like 65% pass, the rest run. But with you kind of you want to have that perfect mix of run and pass.
Well, a good running game is how you play great defense. And I think when you look at our conference, the teams that have won the championship, since I've been here as the head coach, they've been able to run the football. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And I think you saw that where Alcorn State last year led the conference in rushing, and they also won the championship. I think at the end of the day, I think all offenses want to be, 50-50. It may not look 50-50, but at the end of the day, I think they want to be good at running and throwing the football.
There's some schools that don't have pro day. We obviously have one on Friday at 3 p.m.
Correct.
How big is it for the scouts to come in and see Southern University players? Because the people, especially the players that didn't make it to Indianapolis for the combine.
Well, it's great for our players, to know that we're going to have some scouts here looking at them. And I also think scouts enjoy coming over. They enjoy the environment. They enjoy being on campus. And we're grateful that they come out and watch our players and give our players a platform to perform.
Now, it's this Friday at 3 p.m. now, closed obviously to the public, right?
No, it's open.
Oh, it is?
They was asking that they stay off the field and sit in the bleachers and watch. But for the most part, we just want the scouts and the players on the field.
Because it's very fun to see the artilleries and stuff like that get a chance to play pro football and what have you. This is their stage. This is an opportunity for them to show it.
Well, you get one chance, and what you do with that opportunity is solely up to you. And I think our guys understand that. They know they're going to need to test very well in order to get some eyes to open and say, hey, I'm one of those guys you need to be looking at. And pro day is a day to give you a platform to be able to go out there and say, hey, look at me.
How much do you work with them? Because now you're working in spring, practices with the players that will be playing for this year. How much do you work with those guys, or do you work with them at all to show them, okay, you got to jump this high, you got to run this 40-yard dash here and there, you got to do this and that? Do you still work with them?
No, most of them guys have trainers. They'll get some guys that'll get them ready. They'll get an agent, and the agent will get them with a group of guys that can help them and prepare them for pro day.
What are your needs coming out of this spring?
Just discipline. Just continue to improve on our discipline, continue to improve on the little things each and every day. We're pretty solid as a football team. We got the freshmen that we signed, the transfers, most of them are already on campus. So our football team is really where it needs to be. It's just all about improving in the little things. And if we do that, we got a chance to be very successful.
How hard is it now to keep student athletes from leaving campus after spring football and what have you? Because I know that one of the things that you said when you first got in here, you wanted to make sure this team stayed together for a long time. I mean, so they were, off season, they were always hanging out, going to eat together, going to do this together. You can't do it if your team continuity is not there.
Well, it takes great leaders, and then you got to have a process in place that guys buy into. And one of the key ingredients in our process is love. And I think when you got love in a program, guys want to be a part of it, whether they're fourth string or whether they're a starter or whether they're a walk-on. If you treat everybody a certain way and you give them opportunities, it increases your levels of love in the program. And I think that's why so many guys are so excited about having an opportunity to be a part of our program. Our program has really outgrown where we are and what we're doing. I mean, you got to think we're getting emails and from all over wanting to be a part of it, whether they're walk-ons, whether they're saying recruit me. And that's to a testament to the guys that had came before the guys that we have now. So we're building a program that people all over the world want to be interested in it and willing to invest in it themselves in order to be a part of it. And all we do is give them a door to open and welcome them in and love them while they're here and work them hard and try to get the best out of them.
March 30th, 10 a.m., AWD Mumford Stadium, the spring game. What do fans expect to see? Obviously, two teams going head-to-head, but it's Southern against Southern. What do we expect to see in that time?
Well, if you don't get there probably at 1 o'clock, you're going to miss the scrimmage because it's going to go fast and quick in the area.
Yeah.
We're trying to get our guys in and out, so we're not going to be long. Our play count to get cut significantly. We're trying to get our ones and twos a lot of reps and get them in and out, and then really just shut down spring ball and turn it to the last 4 days, getting ready to see some things that we may see during the year that we don't hardly get a chance to work on. But the scrimmage won't be long. We're going to get our plays in and out, and we're going to get most of our stuff in this weekend.
Coach looked like he put on shoulder pads. He's walking around gingerly like that. Hey, he's working hard, man. This guy's going to work hard. You can't not, barely go through it and expect to have successful seasons, no question. And it's one of the hardest workers at Southern University. Again, that's March 30th at 10 a.m., AWD Mumford Stadium. All right, when we come back, we're going to bring in Tony Clayton right back here. We're going to ask Tony a question, and we'll do that. And plus, we've got bread pudding on the way. He's shocked for this. We'll do that coming up right here. It's Scoreboards Restaurant, Coursey Boulevard. I'm Chris Powers, and this is the Overtime Show with Athletic Director Roman Banks. A closer look at Jaguar Athletics. Back in a moment on Pelican Sports TV.
see a doctor fast? Lake Express Check-In lets you get in line online. Visit OLOLRMC.com/express to choose an estimated treatment time at one of our emergency room, urgent care, or physician office locations. A service of Our Lady of the Lake.
Legendary Import Group. Distinguished service and detailed attention. You'll discover the only distinctive auto for the legend in you. Stop by 10660 Coursey Boulevard or phone 225-960-1191.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score. Because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers. Craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, official chicken of Southern University. One love.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouger. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouger today.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
Talk to State Farm agent Anna Jones in Baton Rouge today.
What's the most important aspect of event hosting? Location. This is something that Bell knew from day one. That's why we're located in downtown Baton Rouge, across from the convention center, close to LSU, and right by the river. So with a friendly staff, award-winning cuisine, and a massive conference center of 10 rooms and 24,000 square feet capable of fitting more than 2,000 guests, what we offer is just as important as where we are.
Welcome back, everybody. Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks with Tony Clayton sitting in for.
You want it straight and call Clayton.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
If your bruise is blue, Tony Clayton will sue. What do you think about that? I'm sorry.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Hey, Southern Baseball welcomes former players and baseball alumni from the Grambling Series. One team, the 1959 NAIA champions, national champs team, will be honored during the Saturday's game. And here is the next 7 for Southern Jaguar Athletics.
To the next 7 in Jaguar Athletics. Southern University Track and Field will head to Hammond, Louisiana this Saturday, March the 23rd, to the campus of Southeastern Louisiana University. SU women's softball will return to Baton Rouge to take on the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils this weekend. First game, March the 22nd, first pitch, 3 p.m. Second game, March the 23rd, first pitch, 1 p.m. Head bowling coach Rose Fogg and the SU women's bowling team will head to Arlington, Texas to compete in the SWAC Championship March the 22nd through March the 24th. Southern University women's tennis, led by head coach Jeff Conyers, will head to New Orleans, Louisiana March the 22nd to take on Rutgers at 12 p.m. The Red Hot Southern University men's baseball team will host our rivals from North Louisiana, the Tigers of Grambling State, at Lee Hines Field for a weekend series on March the 22nd, with the first pitch being 6 p.m., March the 23rd, first pitch 3 p.m., and March the 24th, first pitch at 1 p.m. Fresh off a SWAC tournament championship, the Southern University women's basketball team will head to the women's NCAA tournament in Starksville, Mississippi to take on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State Friday, March the 22nd at 8 p.m. And that was your next 7 in Jaguar Athletics. Go Jags.
Cannot wait for that environment. It's a very good opportunity for Coach Funchess and his staff to play against Mississippi State. Mississippi State with a runner-up 2 years in a row for the national championship for women's basketball, so it should be fun. Tiana, you've got a very special guest. This young man is here every week. He is loyal big time. Definitely bleeds blue and gold. He's got his Jaguars t-shirt on right now. You're on camera right there, man. And tell them about it, your name.
My name is Roman Smith. I'm a Southern University alumni from 1972.
1972. That's right,
Wow.
Tiana.
Wow.
All right, his question is,
How do you feel about Coach Banks being transitioned from a basketball coach into a
You know, the question was, what do I feel about Coach Banks transitioning from a coach to an athletic director? Right. That's a brilliant question. And let me tell you why, Chris. He's on to something. Because in order to be a great administrator of a subject, sports, you must have played the game, coached the game, and now you're administering the game. When you have the likes of a Dawson Odom, Kerry Jackson, and Odom being our godfather, the leader of our athletic program, when you have guys like that, they will respect an AD who has played the game, who has coached the game, and now administering the game. It's hard for me to tell Coach Odom or Coach Jackson, hey, let Tony Clayton be AD. Don't laugh at that, but the bottom line is I can't do it. So the transition was perfect. And I'll tell you this in closing on that question, what Coach Banks has taught me. The top of that mini dome, they just redoing it. I said, Coach, let's go to Delta Airlines. They're flying to Baton Rouge. Let's let them advertise. We need to sell naming rights at Southern. We need to sell it. Folks beat up on me a little bit about, yeah, but it's all about marketing. I mean, if it's a door, $5,000, put your name on the football door to Coach Odom's office. We will make millions of dollars by selling naming rights. We have to be creative. That's Coach Banks. That's the one who come in and say, Tony, give us X amount of dollars, you can do this pavilion. Give me another $1 million, you can do this. So my vision before I leave that board is I want to start. I may not see it finished, but I want to start a big 100,000 square foot metal building so Coach Odom can have a turf field inside there. He can play his field. His team can practice inside there. All the other teams can use it, and that's the new deal. And the way we're going to get it done, we're going to go to Coach Banks, and we're going to see if we can get folks like Mr. Willie Hughes to put up some money, put their name on it, and so we can have naming rights. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Great question.
And Coach Odom's face lit up when you said that indoor facility. That would be awesome. Now, as we mentioned, being a board member for so long, being a supporter for so long with the Championship Plaza, but once again, you just talked about sponsorship. So this is not a guy that just says, I bleed blue and gold and I love Southern University, went to Southern University. You also support Southern University by giving us money for advertising and for support for Southern University. So you put your money on the line.
You know, Chris, my kids, I have 5 kids, and I've told them that Southern is in my will. And so I will die for Southern. I mean, Southern took me a rock out of the backdoor cane fields of Louisiana and polished me into a gym where I can shine into all these courtrooms. I'm a pretty good little lawyer, but it's because of Southern. I mean, I'm nothing without Southern. And once we adopt that philosophy, Southern in my mind is an integral part of me. That young lady who introduced that fellow, that young man over at Academic Center who spoke earlier, man, look at us. Coach Jackson, Coach Odom, we are Southern. So I'm hearing tonight the Jaguar Nation, that folks are still in our mantra or the name, but it's because of this university that I'm able to sit next to Chris Powell, who Dad taught me how to work on the railroad some 30 years ago. And so we all are just a few degrees separated. So tell your dad I said hi and thank you for helping me, but Southern helps folks out. That's what Southern does, and that's why I will forever in my law firm will forever. My kids, they will always give to Southern too. You got to.
And a proud product of.
What's that smell?
Look at that.
Come on, man.
Look at
That
this.
is so wrong.
Boiled crawfish, and these things are, like I always say, as big as Jurassic Park crawfish. Look at this. That's just unbelievable when you smell
Can we eat on air?
Yes. Yes.
Now, who can do this? Look, full tail, guys. I'm an expert at it.
That's right.
Awesome,
And
man.
spiced perfectly?
It's perfectly good. This is the best. Come to the school board. Come get you some crawfish. Look at my friend out there. Come over now. It's hot. Nice corn. This is off the chain, folks.
Look how juicy this is.
That's not the conversation you and I ought to be having about juicy crawfish is. It's not a good conversation, but it is great.
And spiced perfectly.
It's good.
But I was going to say a proud product, before the crawfish interrupted us, a proud product of Southern University Law School. And, you know, and one day, every time I turn on TV, and not with just program here today, but I also turn on TV, and obviously seeing you being interviewed a lot of times too. So are we going to ever see even more than that? Maybe a governor's run?
You know, you might.
I would vote for you for governor. And
Well, I'm going to tell you.
I would not only vote for you, I would be in your campaign to help you, brother.
I will tell you, and I don't know if this show can endorse, but I think we got the best governor the country has right now in John Bell. I love the guy. Thinks he's doing a great job. But I might run for district attorney one day over in West Baton Rouge and Point Coupee. But beyond that, I'm running now to make sure Southern is equally funded, to make sure that Southern has an opportunity to have this young man over here who's leading our academic program to have enough funding to make it through. And that's what it's all about. And I tell you, I tear up about it a little bit, but I'm just all about this school taking the guys like me. If it were not for Southern, man, who knows where I would be. But I'm glad we're here. I'm glad to see the diversity that our coaches bring. I mean, you watching the pitchers at Southern, you're watching the offensive linemen. These guys are opening us up to a new millennium, and I appreciate you. Love your coaches, appreciate the fan, and I'm just, like Minnie Pearl, I'm proud to be here.
Now, there's not going to be any time soon that Tony Clayton won't be associated with Southern being on the board or what have you, right?
I don't know what my future, but I'm thinking about running for an office, and I probably won't be able to be on the board. That might make a lot of folks happy, but I don't know how long I can do both. But I'm gonna always bleed for Southern. Willie Hughes would not let me not bleed for Southern.
That's right. That's right. Hey, next week we are going to be talking softball. Also, we're talking to Carlos Funches about the 2019 NCAA tournament. We'll do that coming up next week. And a whole lot more. That is going to be next week. Coach Banks will be here and talk about how great the show, great the tournament was as well, and how much Southern had with that playing against Mississippi State. Now, all right, that's going to do it for this week. We're going to go eat some crawfish if you don't mind. Come to Scoreboards and join us.
Come on
next
in.
week, Pelican Sports TV.
Come get some.